Mm. Okay. Last time we discussed about the harmful effect, okay, that human did in the environment, okay, and this was due to um, the human population growth. You got my point? Okay. We cut a lot of trees. We did deforestation. We used fertilizers excessively. We have intensive livestock. We did monocultures. We used machines, increased the use of machinery. We did mining for fossils and minerals. And all of these, okay, actions of human had harmful effect or negative and positive, maybe positive and mainly negative impact to the environment. You understand it or not? For example, one of the things that human did, it was the monoculture, right? Okay, this is the monoculture. When we use huge, okay, area or large area to plant only one type of plant or one type of crop. You got it? Okay. So this land, before using it for planting one crop like maize, rice, wheat, it's supposed to have many trees, many plants, variety of plants. And if there are variety of the producers, there will be variety of consumers. So this ecosystem supposed to be rich ecosystem, has high biodiversity. When you remove all of these varieties and use it only to make one crop, how that will affect the environment? It disturbs the ecosystem. It disturbs the food chain and food web. Some organisms will be extinct or endangered, right? Because maybe lost their habitat because we have to remove the other plants to only use this land for making one crop, right? Only this land will have more consumers and more insects, more organisms which feed on that crop. You understand me or not? Okay. So the farmer also, okay, will use more insecticides. What are insecticides? Chemical which used to kill pests or insects which feed on the plants. Why? Because they have to uh, kill these insects, otherwise the yield of the crop will decrease. Okay, so more insecticides, more pollution. You understand it or not? Okay, but what is the positive impacts of monoculture? It's efficient. First of all, it is efficient for farmers. Okay, why? Because we will use machinery for large area. Okay, which will be faster and efficient. We will harvest uniform crop, okay, which have it will be ripened together at the same time, harvested together in the same time, okay. So it increases the profit and the yield for the farmers. You got my point or not? Okay. So when I have the whole area, okay, used to make rice, for example, so I will use the same treatment of insecticides or herbicides, okay? So it decrease the cost and efficient for the time and effort. You understand it or not? Hmm? You happy that about that? That's why monoculture it's more efficient for the farmers. Agree with me? Hmm? Okay? طيب. What are the negative impact of monoculture? Disadvantage. I told you it will decrease the biodiversity of that ecosystem, right? They will be very different from the natural habitat, right? So it reduces the biodiversity. Agree with me or not? Okay? When it will mean instead of having a lot of plants, only one type of plants, few type of consumer which feed on that plant, more insects which feed only in that plant. Okay? That's why the farmer have to use more insecticides, more pollution. So it disturbs the ecosystem, causes more pollution, right? Due to the excessive use of pesticides, okay? Because the pests which feed on that crop will increase as well. You got my point? Okay. Reduction of soil fertility. How? How reduction of soil fertility? Why there is reduction of soil fertility? Because they will use the same land. They will use the same land for several years in succession of the same crop. Okay? In that case, the farmers have to use more fertilizers. And more fertilizers could affect the water bodies. I will explain later about that. You understand? You got my point? But why we need monoculture when we need that excessive way of agriculture to give more food to solve the social problem, which is increase of the number of the population. You understand it or not? Clear? Okay. The other thing which human did to increase the food supply is intensive livestock. Okay? This picture, okay, actually does not show intensive livestock. This is the one which is talking about intensive livestock. Very large number in animal found in very small surface area. But why farmers or people doing like that? To save the land, to gain more money. Yani, imagine if I will make these organisms live in a place which is like this one. I think here no intensive stock for this animal. They have large surface area, large lands. He can do grazing freely, right? This type of animal, right? It's called extensive livestock, okay? And the meat of this animal even now more expensive than the other, and they will put for them music. They care about the health of the animal more the production of food excessively. You understand it or not? Okay? But when we put the animal, okay, in very small uh, place like that, we want to save land. We need a lot of food production with less cost, right? When this animal which found in that crowded place, there is a chance for the infectious disease, okay, to happen between these organisms or not. It will happen. So imagine with me, I have this intensive livestock, okay, and I have this large amount of chicken, and suddenly infectious disease started, and most of the chicken will die. How much loss I will have? I will lose a lot of money. So you know what are the farmers doing or the people doing to avoid that? They give antibiotic to these animals in the water or mix it with their food, okay, as prophylaxis. Prophylaxis means to prevent, okay, um, the infectious disease before coming, or if it started, okay, it may be cured and will not pass to the other organisms. طب is it good? That's what we should do when we use antibiotic. We should use antibiotic without heavy infection. It's called over it's called overuse of antibiotic. It's called what? Overuse of antibiotic. You got it? Okay? Okay? طيب. So first of all, there will be overuse of antibiotic as they will use it without any reason, no infection. And there is a chance for the bacteria to evolve resistant or virus, and this could be transmitted to the human. And I think you heard about egg flu and bird flu. This happened because of the overcrowdedness of this type, and the virus mutated and start to uh, infect the human. And you understand? Okay. And what about the wastes of these livestock? Do you know how they deal or how they treat the wastes of this livestock? Many of the farmers will take it and drain it or discharge it into the water bodies, river, lake. Okay, if these wastes will be drained into the so nearby water bodies, okay, it will cause what we call eutrophication. Okay, and I think I spoke about that eutrophication last session, right? It means it will cause death of part of the ecosystem of the water because it will make the algae to grow faster, their biomass will increase, forms bloom of algae on the surface of the water, right? And this will make the other plants will die, okay? And also the fish which live in that water will die as well. Yeah, like here. This is the eutrophication and how the fish and the organism will die. And this happened because of the drainage or discharge of the waste of these livestock into the water bodies. You understand it or not? Okay? How this fish will die when the water will be covered by the bloom of algae. Okay, no sunlight will go to the aquatic plant. Aquatic plant will die because they are not able to do photosynthesis. The consumers which eat on these plants will die. The decomposers will increase. Decomposers use the oxygen which found in the water and give carbon dioxide. And now there is consumption of oxygen and production of carbon dioxide and no photosynthesis. Okay, if there is an ecosystem, okay, which don't have oxygen, so the organisms in the water will stay alive? No, they will die, and that's why you will see all the fish will float on the water because of the depletion of oxygen. You understand this part? Okay, look at here. Here is point at which untreated sewage is discharged. The same eutrophication happened when the human also discharge their untreated sewage to the water bodies. Once it will be discharged, look at the level of oxygen will be low. Suddenly, steep decrease in the dissolved oxygen in the water. Okay, and no life here. Do you see no fish? Okay, when we go away from the area at which sewage is discharged, the level of oxygen will increase, okay, right? And fish will start to be seen and the bacteria will decrease. So why there is large amount of bacteria here? First of all, bacteria comes from the sewage, okay, and they will decrease when we go away from the area of the sewage, which will be full of bacteria and other harmful microbes. You got my point? Is it clear for that part? Hmm? Okay, this is for that part. So here, one of the hazardness or two things that human did, one for monoculture and one for the intensive livestock. Now, most of the intensive livestock found only in the developing country. Developed country now they started to decrease and use extensive livestock. Advantage and disadvantage. Advantage, it provide more food for people. We did everything to get more food because of the huge increase in the human population at the last 20 200 years, right? And this could mean fuel people too hungry. It solves the food problem, right? It takes up less space, so they can decrease the cost and increase the profit, right? Let's go and look at the disadvantage. Okay, diseases can spread easily because the overcrowdedness, right? Bacteria will evolve resistant because they use antibiotics as prophylaxis, right? Um, they need more energy or more transportation, more fuels to transport the food for these livestock because they will not be found in open area to eat or graze freely. No, we have to supply them with food. We have energy to keep them in. We need energy to keep them inside the building. You got my point? Okay. Also need supply of water, large quantities of water, and this all increase the cost and energy, and we have to use fossil fuel to do that, which may increase the pollution as well. You got my point? Okay. Uh, Next thing which human did as which increase the damage to the environment, it was habitat destruction. Okay. Did main three things to destroy the habitat of living organisms. First of all, when we cut down trees. Okay. Second, right, when we start to do mining, we mining for fossil fuels, for extraction of metal ores. Sorry, to look for or search for metal ores, right? When I go to mining in forest or any place, we bring our machine. People will stay there, so it will disturb the natural habitat of these organisms, so they will be endangered or extinct, right? Okay. Also, pollution. طب how pollution destroy habitat? When we say global earth warming due to the increase of carbon dioxide, some places the temperature increase than normal, which was harmful to the plant. Plants cannot grow. If there is no plant, no producer, no habitat also. No food, no habitat for some organisms. You know, some organisms, their habitat is a tree or grassland. When this area are destroyed, so no habitat for these organisms, some of them will be endangered, extinct, and the biodiversity will decrease and all the ecosystem will be disturbed. Okay? Is it okay for all of you? Hmm? طيب. Let's go to one other effect of human, right? Here, all organisms here live in coral reef in the Red Sea, right? Of Sudan. Depend on the living coral animal which provide their habitat. When we destroy that coral reef, right? These animals die and خلاص we destroyed that ecosystem. Because of the global earth warming, okay, many of coral reef now not found. Next point, which is deforestation. Do you understand what deforestation means? Cutting trees. Look at that. In forest, this is forest, and we cut all of this area. Here it's cut, removed all of that. Imagine how we are simply remove all this huge area, how do you think how many organisms lost their habitat? How many organisms become endangered or extinct because of that human action? Not only that, ecologically, the food chain and food web will be affected also. Many organisms will be extinct or endangered. Biodiversity will decrease. Okay? About nutrient cycle, it will be affected as well. When we remove that huge area of trees, less photosynthesis will happen or not? There will be less photosynthesis, right? Okay? So here, many organisms will be extinct, so low biodiversity. Second, okay, increase the carbon dioxide as there will be less photosynthesis. Type if there is the increase in the carbon dioxide level, so there will be global earth warming or not. Not only that, okay, water cycle will be affected also. How water cycle will be affected? You know, always there is transpiration. These trees take water from here and it will transpire it to the atmospheric air. Then cloud will be formed, then rain will come back, right? When we remove the forest, imagine this only one part is removed, and this is called selective felling, and that is compared to what happened before, it's better. Imagine they will remove all these trees, no forest anymore. So no transpiration. So the water, rain will come and wash the soil. It causes soil erosion. And many water will go to the underground, will not be recycled by transpiration. And this place, instead of being forest had a lot of rain, it will be changed to desert. Desertification could happen. You understand it? Okay? Look at what happened due to the removing of the forest and how it affects the life of the living organisms or the consumers, how it affects the nutrient cycle, affects the carbon cycle, affect the water cycle, okay? Plus the air pollution due to the increase of carbon dioxide and global earth warming. You got my point? Okay. Um, all of these birds will lose their habitat because of that deforestation. Okay. Pollution by greenhouse gases, which is carbon dioxide and methane, right? Why they called greenhouse gases? Let me explain for you what is a greenhouse. Okay, gas. Why it's called a greenhouse? They used to make greenhouses for plants in the cold places. Greenhouse has advantage, which is what? It can allow the light to penetrate it like that. But when the infrared of that light will be absorbed and emitted one more time, it will not be able to go out of the glass house. So that was good in the for plants. Okay, so we can take plants from warm places and cultivate it in cold places using greenhouses. Okay? Okay. In our case, about global earth warming, our atmospheric air, okay, naturally has carbon dioxide and methane. And they were found in very low proportion. Yani the percent of carbon dioxide normally is 0.04 percentage and methane is less. Okay, so now normally some of the all the radiation or the infrared will come to the surface of the earth and it will be absorbed, then emitted, okay, in longer wavelengths and less energy. See here, there are short wavelengths. There is here short wavelengths and high frequency. Here, longer wavelengths and less frequency because it has less energy, right? These waves can not be passed through the methane and carbon dioxide. But in the olden days, the carbon dioxide and methane, they had low concentration there now, so many of these radiation, okay, will escape to the upper atmospheric layer. That's why there was no global earth warming, right? Okay. Now we have a lot of carbon dioxide compared to before. So many of this radiation will be trapped and go back to the surface of the earth. Global earth warming will happen because of the trapped infrared radiation near to the surface of the earth. What does it mean? The temperature increased. Like when the temperature is increased, what does it mean? I mean, this temperature may not be optimum for many enzymes which found in plants, may affect other organisms which are uh, exothermic. So some of these will die, will not be able to survive, especially in the hot places, which become hotter than usual. Due to the global earth warming that we had, okay, hmm, sorry, um, the climate weather map is changed, right? Okay, look at كده how the how the carbon dioxide level increased in the past few hundred years. See, 170, 50, it was around 280 part per million. Now it is what? Huge difference. And all of this happened because deforestation, cutting down rainforests, right? Combustion of fossil fuels. You understand it? Hmm? Burning the wastes, all of that make carbon dioxide concentration increase, or the proportion of carbon dioxide in the atmospheric air near to the earth increase. Consequently, global earth warming will be there. Okay? Methane also one of the greenhouse gases, right? Methane produced by farming of rice field, especially rice fields, okay, paddy fields. Why? Due to anaerobic respiration could happen in this field. I don't know if you see the rice fields or not, okay. Rice field, they are the field which supposed to be filled with water. يعني the rice at the beginning of its agriculture, right? It's supposed to be found in a field which immersed or يعني full of water. Okay, let me show you rice field. Let me show it to you. Okay. Look, here at the beginning, it have to be immersed in water in that way, right? Here, there is aerobic respiration will happen for the bacteria which survive here and the root also. This cause the release of the methane, right? Which one of the reasons that contribute in the increase of the methane level. طب people, they making crops of rice long ago. Why only now? It is one of the reasons of global earth warming. I will tell you, because now we are using more land for agriculture. We need more land to make more rice crop. That's why, okay, the proportion of methane increased. Also, in the stomach of animals, if you know animal, they chew the cud, right? Like cattle and sheep. Okay, this make their body have methane, and because we have more livestock than before, the proportion of methane also increased, right? Uh, and the decomposition of the trash in landfill and sewage also, if it's not treated in some developing countries, not proper treatment of sewage, and thus you will discharge it without treatment. Okay, anaerobic respiration of this bacteria also will make methane, which also increase the global earth warming. You got my point? Is it clear? Type. Some people said methane, it's useful gas. Why we let it go? Yani if we have landfill, it's better to collect the methane which is produced by the decomposition of the trash in the landfill and use it as a gas supply in houses, right? It will not make big difference because when methane burn it, it will give carbon dioxide, which one of the huh, contributor of the greenhouse effect. You got my point? Is it clear for all of you? Here another graph. It shows how the carbon dioxide as a overall increased, right? The temperature also increased. Here is with the year, since 1880 till 2022. This is the temperature. So how the temperature of the earth increase, right? It's mean global temperature. You got my point? Okay. And the temperature, of course, fluctuating up and down because of summer and winter. Okay. So this is the baseline. Now it's exceeded the uh, baseline. That's why we have global earth warming, right? Because of the global earth warming, right? There are a lot of flooding happen because the climate changed. Okay. The ice cap melts, which will cause the level of the sea increase, right? So many cities now could be covered or disappeared with the time. I don't know if you hear about that or not, but it's very, many people expecting that, right? So rise of temperature affects the climate. High temperature mean more energy will be found in the atmospheric air. That's why it affects the weather, right? May cause drought in some places, right? May rainfall will happen in some area with unexpected time. And think you notice that in the last 2 3 years, right? There is no stability. I cannot say this winter was like the winter that we had last year, like the winter that we had 2 years ago. And even in summer, do you hear last year? Do you remember when the temperature, some places went to 60, if you remember that, in some places here in the Gulf area? Okay. Okay, so let's think how can or how we should reduce the global earth warming. We have to stop deforestation. We have to stop cutting trees. We have to stop using fossil fuels, look for other resources which will not give out carbon dioxide. Okay, you have a doubt about that? Hmm? And this is about the putrefaction. I think we explained it last session. Okay. Last thing we have to discuss together, it's about non-biodegradable plastic, and this is one of the worst thing also human did when we started to use the addition polymerization to make some products. One of them is the plastic. Now everything is changed with plastic. Our paper bag not found. Now it's plastic. Many things which was natural we use plastic. Plastic, it's more efficient in use, but unfortunately, it's not degradable. It does not have natural link which can be broken down by decomposers. That's why it can stay for very long time without being decomposed, and definitely it affects the animal's life. I think this picture how this crab or how that crustacea trapped inside this plastic bowl, and if no one will rescue that, it will die. You got my point? Is it clear for all of you? Hmm? Okay, we will stop here. And the next part which is left is for the conservation. Okay?